Hello, everyone, and welcome to Connect the Work, where we make career conversations normal. I'm here today
to talk about our third benchmark today. Today's benchmark is family in career connections. So today we're going to have my family here, and we're going to have a career conversation live with you guys. And we're also going to help my sister find out her RIASET codes as well. So it's going to be a really fun episode. I'm really excited, but also weirdly a little more nervous for this one. I don't know why, but I just got a little nervous. But it's going to be fun. It's going to be great. So I have my first guest with me, which is my mom. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Rylee.
How are you today?
I'm good. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for coming. This was really fun having you all help set up all the equipment. It was really fun.
It's fun to see this part of your world. So
yeah, I was excited to show Reese, especially because I think she liked some of the cameras and stuff.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. Okay, so we're just gonna have a career conversation. I have kind of pre-done questions, but not like I do for my other guests.
We'll just
have a conversation.
Okay, I'm ready.
So, how have you gone about, outside of school, because I know we have a lot of conversations, how have you gone about having career conversations with me and with Reese and just in our everyday lives?
Oh, that's such a good question. You should have told me questions ahead of time because I could have planned. Now we're on the spot. So this is true, genuine, my thoughts and my immediate feedback. I think I feel like Dad and I are still learning how to parent, right? Like you're 18 and Reese is 14, but we still every day are learning how to parent. So I would say that I don't know that I have a formula, but what I've tried really hard to do is try to be a good listener. So I think in terms of thinking about career connectedness, I think it started back when you were really little. And I'll try not to get emotional when I talk about you and Reese, but I think watching you try things that were important for me, right? So sports was a big part of my life, right? Went to college because of athletics. I think studying certain things or reading certain books, I think both Dad might say the same, but I tried to introduce you to things that I liked first. That was my default. And then I think I tried to really watch and listen to see if you resonated with that or not. And I wonder if a lot of parents do that, right? We teach what we know. But I think I realized pretty quickly that you didn't always love the things that I loved, and the things that you tended to enjoy were not things that I would have picked for myself, and probably things that I would not have picked for you had I not tried really hard. And I'm still trying to listen and watch to see what kind of sparks you or sparks joy for you. So I think watching you open your first Lego and get really excited about it. I think watching you enjoy building things, or even more lately with things with the radio or your old school record, or things again that were maybe have been a little bit more unfamiliar to me, watching what you found joy in. And then I felt that my role was probably trying to figure out, well, how can I help you from the knowledge I have working in education or being an educator? How do I find opportunities for you to do more of that, right? So if it's Legos, then when you were in middle school, we were okay, well, maybe they have some kind of building class or robotics after school class. And so I think that's how I've tried to approach it, is trying to give you space to figure out what you liked and listen and watch you as you grew, and then tried as hard as I could to find what resources were there to match those interests that you had. But I think a lot of it too was kind of releasing things that I hoped for you, or that I wanted you to do because they were familiar to me.
And comfortable. Those were things you were comfortable with.
It would have been easier, right? Now I'm kind of I can help you with engineering because I don't know that field and I don't know that space.
But that's where we can both grow together.
Yeah.
I think, which is really cool. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, that's great. Yeah, so I think that would probably be my answer, is trying to teach you what I knew first, right? Because that's what I knew. And then once I saw that you didn't love a lot of the things that I loved, whether, again, it's playing softball or doing certain sports, but then figuring out oh, you really want to spend time doing this thing, and whether it's building or, like I said, Legos or things like that, trying to think, well, how can I help support you, not being an expert in it, but how do I support finding things for you that other people who are really good in that, to kind of match that or bridge that interest into things that actually give you opportunity to live it out, So I've been really thankful for the teachers that you've had. I think about Mr. Sheely. I think about, Mr. V at the high school, people who are really good at what you're interested in, and how do I cheer you on and be more of a cheerleader for your life instead of being the facilitator for it, because those are not my spaces, right? So I think that's what I've tried to do. I think I'm still trying to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No, that's really
That's what I would
good.
answer.
Thank you. And before we go even deeper, if you want to introduce yourself, give a little bit about your background.
Sure.
You played sports, like
Yeah.
what that happened, and
Yeah.
just really quickly want to introduce
Okay.
yourself.
Sure. So sports was a big part of my life. I was very grateful. I had a chance to get a full scholarship to play college softball at the University of Notre Dame. So I have to say Fighting Irish. But played overseas a little bit professionally. So it was really exciting to be a female, kind of professional athlete, travel a little bit doing that. And then I don't think I really enjoyed learning or found a love for learning until later in college because my identity was so much in sports. And so I think learning later in life how much I loved to learn helped me stay in school longer, right? So I pursued and earned like a master's degree and then a doctorate degree. And then I found, a love for teaching. And so right now I teach full time at a university. I teach in a master's program. And so a big part of my life is probably the same thing I try to do with you is like help support people like achieve what they want to achieve in life through education. And so that's what I do. So I teach online for a master's program and I work with coaches mostly and athletes who are wanting to work in the field of sport management. So it's still staying in sports, but kind of, again, still embracing education.
Awesome. Thank you, Dr. Robles.
Oh, yeah.
So my next question will be kind of how have you seen maybe my school, or I know that you are my designated driver for all of the
everything.
all of the events because I can't drive yet, but we're working on that.
Yeah.
Maybe even at those events or at my school or at Reese's middle school, how have you seen conversations including parents and guardians and families in general in career conversations?
Yeah. So how have I seen that play out? Yeah, I think that's a good question. I think schools try really hard, right? Like I think schools put on different, career days. Like I know Reese did that in middle school. They, have a career day, and so they get a chance to integrate professionals into the school to do those things. In terms of families, if I'm honest, I think that's an area that probably can be strengthened because I don't know that I remember too often in middle school for you, high school for you, or right now for Reese, like really being invited in to kind of talk about how to do that. I feel, and again, it's really hard to say that because I'm so grateful for the education that you've had and the schooling that you've had, and I love the teachers, but I do think that that's a disconnect. I do think that a lot of times parents are kind of trying to figure out on their own. I think there's great resources for parents when it comes to like, safety online. Now it's like learn to teach your kids how to be safe e-bike riders, say no to drugs, and then, those types of things. But I don't think that I've really seen a lot of partnership yet in terms of like empowering families to know how to have those conversations or even what best practices are, right? Like, so how do we teach our kids what we know, but how do we get out of the way sometimes, right? But not feel like we're neglecting our kids. So I think that that's an area that I would love to have more support in as a parent, to have educators who can kind of bridge that gap between what we're trying to do at home, what the school is doing fantastically, but I don't yet see a lot of partnership. I think there's opportunities to partner. Maybe schools are doing it fantastic. I'm just trying to think off the top of my head, like parents and families that we're close to. I don't know that we have participated collectively in anything yet that has been provided by a school or an institution that says, let's come together and have those conversations. So I think we're kind of doing it a little bit more siloed right now. But I think this conversation is very important, right?
Yeah. How would you, and I don't mean to put you on the spot, but like, how do you think schools can have these conversations? Because we have them all the time, but how can a school maybe be that bridge for parents or guardians who aren't maybe having these conversations yet?
Yeah, that's a good question too. I think,
or what would be helpful to you if we didn't have these conversations? How could a school step in and help us?
Yeah, I think maybe the first thing I can think of is utilize parents and families who are already working in jobs or working in areas that maybe are not always highlighted, right? So I think back at career day and I'm like, oh, there's a lawyer, there's a doctor, but there's so many other things and so many other amazing, incredible spaces that a lot of the parents of our kids that are in school are working in, and I don't know that we have championed those yet. So I think it'd be really interesting to see a little bit more diversity in terms of empowering parents who are, or guardians who are working in fields that are not always super celebrated. That maybe there's a student who's like, I would have never thought about that as something I can do, right? And so I think we kind of put on the table, like, here's the 5 most, highlighted jobs or careers that kids can go into. But I think that if we kind of made the table a little bigger, right, or stretched the circle a little wider, where we're inviting and empowering and really acknowledging and affirming the different types of work that families are doing, right? And I think it's really important too to think, like, even cross-culturally, like, how are we showing representation of different families? And so, like, I don't know, I just think that would be a really powerful thing, right, to utilize the diversity that you have, not only culturally but also and socioeconomically, but also the diversity in the type of work and careers that people are doing, and really celebrate how wide and vast that space is. And I think if parents feel invited in, I think there's a really great opportunity for, and I feel like there would be a lot more buy-in, right, for parents to say, like, absolutely, you're affirming this job that I have that is maybe a little bit more unknown. Like, I would love to come in and talk about what it's like to be this, and I think that could be really exciting. So, and I also think we should be mindful too of, like, parents and guardians who have very different work schedules. So just a practical way, like, maybe not offer something just during the school day, right? Like, so if you're doing career day during lunchtime, that's great. But there's a lot of parents and guardians who are like, I can't take off work. Like, my schedule doesn't allow that. Or maybe have it on, 1 in the morning, 1 in the evening, 1 on a weekend, right? So you're not minimizing the people who can come, right? So, like, being a little bit more mindful of that as well. I think it'd be good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to go more into, because I think we're talking a lot about the schools, which is great, which is really important. How the flip side of that is, like, one-on-one conversations, because I feel like it could be kind of scary being like, oh, okay, now have a career conversation with your student, and you're like, I don't know what that looks like. How do I approach that? I think, do you have any questions that you go to, or, like, examples that you can use for other parents who are just wanting to maybe talk one-on-one with their student but are a little intimidated in doing that?
Yeah, well, I would say I feel like I have a good idea of maybe what worked for you, but I'm in that same place right now with Reese, where I'm like, I don't really know. Like, I even told her the other day, I was like, Reese, you're my, I don't want to say project, right? But I was like, you get all my attention now when Rylee goes to college. Like, I'm so excited to learn about what you want to do, but I don't have
I think that's important.
But I don't have that figured out yet. And so I feel like I'm still trying to discern, like, what is the best way to have that conversation with her, because she's so different than you, and I want to, like, affirm and leave space for both of you, even though you're wired so differently. And so maybe I'll turn the table on you, Rylee.
Sure.
Like, what was there anything that Dad or I asked or did that allowed you to feel heard or seen, or, like, found? Because I don't know, like, so we're learning as we go, but like, what was helpful for you, maybe?
Yeah, I think maybe just, like, sometimes even the most simplest things that we would do. Like, we would just be like, oh, this is really fun. Or when Dad did the, like, Disney days, I think that was really a turning point. Like, it was just something fun that we did, like a celebration or, like, a party or, like, these different games. But the workings behind it, I saw what he was doing behind the scenes, and I was like, oh, I really like that. Or, like, I see the feeling that Reese and I had, where we're like, this is really fun, and we really enjoyed it.
Maybe you should share what a Disney day is.
I'll share. A Disney day is, we would watch a Disney movie. We're a really big Disney family, if you can tell.
So during the summer, right?
Yeah. During the summer, we would have a week, and each day there would be a different Pixar or Disney movie, and we wouldn't know what it is, and the whole house would be decorated to that movie, and we would have, like, snacks themed to that movie, crafts. We would do games.
A lot of dollar store vibes.
Yes, because the dollar store had so many good things. It was really good. Yeah. And we would just do that. It started during COVID because we were home the whole time, so we were like, let's find something to do. And I think just seeing you guys be creative and, like, doing the behind the scenes stuff, maybe that's why I want to go into Imagineering, because it's basically doing that on a bigger scale on a theme park and having the same outcome of people feeling the same way Reese and I did.
Like creating an environment.
Yes. Yeah. I think
Yeah.
maybe I just put that together, like those two things. I
Yeah.
feel like that may have influenced my decision to go into this, just because I saw it was something fun that you guys had created.
Yeah.
I think another possible career conversation is just when, like, we're done with an event or like we're done with a day at school and we just talk about how the day went. Like, it doesn't have to do with a career, but if I'm talking about like math and I'm like, oh, this part I understood this and that was really fun, and then it kind of snowballs into, oh, I really enjoyed this, blah blah blah, and then it turns into, oh, that connects with my RIASEC, and it's just the snowball effect of simply asking, like, oh, what did you do today? Like, that one question kind of opens the door. And it's not directly related to career, but it's building the space for that to be a later conversation, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for
so
sure.
I think that would be those two are my answers.
That's good. That's
a personal
exciting.
answer with the Disney days, and then like more broad example of what someone can do.
Yeah, and I think going back to like leaving space for you and Reese to figure it out, I think one thing that I would say I want to remind myself of a lot, and I hope it's an encouragement to other parents, is that like I think we should be careful never to like shame our kids if they don't choose what we think they should choose, right?
Yeah.
Like, so, or like feel like that's disappointing, right? Like, I wanted you to do this, but you're doing this, or I wanted this for you, and this one is maybe not going to make it as much money, or this one is a really hard career to get into, or so I think that is one thing that I, again, with Reese now, kind of like figuring out what she wants to do. Like, I want to remind myself the importance of like really affirming like any of her likes, you know what I mean? And I'll get emotional because I talk about you guys, you know, but I feel like that's where we can also learn from you guys too. But I would never want you to feel like that you're disappointing me or us if you're not choosing what we wanted for you. Do you know what I mean? So I think that that's one thing that I'm really like glad that I hope that Dad and I did well, is that we were like, okay, whatever you want to go into, even if it's unfamiliar to us, or even if we can't help you as much in this space, like I want you to feel like it's all possible. You know what I mean? So
I should probably say thank you, because I think the only reason I'm able to go into this field of engineering and studying a language that you guys don't know, like all these little things, is because you guys were open to allowing us to do stuff that was out of your comfort zones. Like out of like engineering, none of us are engineers yet, because hopefully I will. But like no one in our family, like it's just something completely different. And for you guys to be open to allowing us to be interested in this, and then fostering like a great environment for us to learn in, I think we should be very grateful. So thank you.
Oh, we're really proud of you.
Oh, thank you. I think, just to say thank you for allowing us to do that.
Well, I'm excited to see where you go from here, and I'm excited to see you help encourage your sister. So it's not just like as parents or guardians we're doing it, but now there's an opportunity for you as an older sibling to be able to help foster and invest in your younger sibling too, like with your sister. So it's going to be exciting to see you help us in helping her, you know, figure out what it is that she's passionate about and what she wants to do. So
that's what I'm also really excited for, is to show like a different format of a family talking about career connections, because I can talk to Reese like as a sibling, which I think is really cool. Because when I think of like family in career connected learning, it's like, oh, the guardians and parents talking to a student. But I think if two students who are siblings can talk about it, because Reese and I will be up, okay, it's too late, it's like 12 o'clock, but we'll just talk. And it's like one of my favorite things. And to be able to do that in that same environment, but talk about careers, it's super easy to just do both of those at the same time. So that's what I'm really excited about.
And I will say one last thing, because I know you have a lot, you're still talking to Reese and Dad. I think one thing I will say too is that like it's exciting for, I'll talk for Dad, but for Dad and I too, to see you with what you're passionate about, because we still learn from you, right? And we're still learning from Reese. So I like that you connected that it's not parents and guardians and kids and we're the ones teaching, but if that's to me, that's not a conversation, right? Like that's not a family conversation. That's a teaching moment, or it's instruction moment. But if you're going to have a family conversation, like we should also be learning from you guys. Like, and I think that's inspiring for us to see you go, oh, this thing over here, I'm so interested in, I'm so passionate about. Then Dad and I kind of look at each other and go, oh, what are we doing? Like, we should keep learning and growing and stretching, right? So that's part of that conversation. And I'm sure we're going to learn things from Reese too. So that's my hope, almost selfishly, is I want to continue to learn from you, and I want to continue to learn from Reese and from Dad, so that that becomes that conversation. Is it's like a shared, like, we might have more experience because we're older, but it should be a mutually like accessible conversation where we're mutually learning from each other too. You know what I mean? Because it's not too late for us. Like, there's still things that we, I'm sure, want to pursue and explore. And I think that if we can kind of posture ourselves not as like the leaders, but as the like, we're in it with you. That's my hope, right? Is that the conversation is allowing us to also grow by learning from you as well. Yeah. So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, I'll go ahead and talk to them now, but thank you so much for joining me on this.
Great talk.
And yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Robles, Dr. Mom.
Love you.
As students and educators, our life can be pretty busy at times, so we're going to take a quick 15 to 20 second break to breathe, relax, and reflect on our day.
Okay, hi Reese.
Hi.
Hi. Okay, so we're gonna figure out what your RIASEC is. Cause do you know what do you know so far?
I don't. I think the only thing I know is like it's pathways, I think, to show you what you like.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. So all the work I do with RIASEC, and I haven't taught you, so we're gonna do that now. I have these really cool cards that have each different letter on them, and I'm gonna show. You can hold them. They're like velvety. They're really cool.
Yeah.
I know, they're really fun. Okay, so we're gonna go through these. I'll explain which ones they are, and then I'll ask you questions like, "What do you like?" And then that's how we're gonna figure it out. So we'll start with realistic. Well, do you want me to show you mine first,
Sure.
or do you want?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm realistic, artistic, and enterprising.
So you can have more than one?
You can have more than one.
Okay.
Yeah. These are like, well, technically, I'm all 6, but these are just like my main 3.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So, realistic, can you like guess what realistic entails?
It's
Sorry, I'm like holding them upside down so you can't read them. Go ahead.
Practical, mechanical, and active.
Yeah. So it's like, because I like building Legos, you know, because our room, I will move them so you have more space for your storage stuff, but like all my Legos is like hands-on building, engineering. That's why I'm realistic. So artistic is like drawing, but since I'm not good at drawing, it's more like creative stuff. So like how I like creating stories, or like when we just talk and we're like, oh, what about this? What about this? What about this? Like that's artistic. Enterprising is like talking, product pitch, starting the flag football, like those kind of things. So can you kind of see how these are my personality?
Yeah, I can see how they like relate to you.
Yeah. Okay, so there's 3 more. Do you want to look at these 3?
Sure. So
Investigative,
social, and
conventional.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you think social is?
Is it like being social with like other people?
It can be, yeah. So social is talking like this, communicating with people, but it's also helpers. So like mom and dad are teachers, that would also be very social.
Yeah.
Maybe helping at a school event, very social. So helping and social, those 2 words kind of go together. Investigative is like more numbers and data. Does that make sense?
Yeah, like figuring things out.
Exactly. Yeah. And conventional, I like to think of it as like organizing. So like, you know how we reorganize like our albums and stuff?
Yeah.
That's conventional.
Yeah.
So my question for you is, which one are you like first drawn to based on your interests?
I think it would be enterprising.
I see that. Yeah. How come?
Because like it says talkative, and I think I'm a very like talkative person to like other people and just like about things that like interest me.
Yeah, that's great. Enterprising. Do you want to hold it up to the camera? I feel like that could be fun. There you go. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. I'll just ask you this. So you have your first one.
Mm-hmm.
I'll move these over here. And then we'll have you kind of order all of them because I think that could be beneficial. What do you think is something that you're interested in? It could be anything. Like
just in general?
Just in general. What are you interested in?
I think I'm interested in, like, kind of design or, like, I think that's what Dad said.
Yeah, that's what Dad is saying.
I'm very interested in, like, I like how things look and, like, I pay attention to, like, different designs or, like, when I go out, I'll look at people's, like, outfits and I'll be like, oh, that's so cute. And then I'll think about it when I'm, like, deciding what I'm wearing later.
Yeah.
Or it's just, I just like the design and, like, aspect of things.
Yeah.
Design, you know.
What do you think could be design on here?
Out of these?
Yeah.
I think artistic.
Yeah?
Yeah.
There you go. That's another one. I agree, because I think that's your way of being creative. Like, mine might be thinking of stories and stuff, but I think yours is finding inspiration in people's clothes.
Yeah.
And then putting your own style on that, too, which I think is really cool. So I definitely think those two.
Yeah.
Wait, I have those two, too. But I don't, okay, we'll just keep going. So, do you want to do, like, maybe your top 3?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
I think besides these two, if I pick another one, I think it would be social.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So right now you have S, E, and A, right? Do you want to talk about those 3?
Like how they relate to me? I think for social, like I'm reading what it says on the bottom, and I think I would like to think I am an understanding person.
You are, yeah.
And a helpful person, but like I hope to become helpful for other people. So I always like to ask people, oh, like, how can I help you? To like my teachers. So if I'm done with my work, I'll be like, oh, like, what do you need help with, you know? So I think that's how I relate to social. And then enterprising, I think I am like a talkative person. I like to start conversations with people and ask about like, oh, what do you like? Or like, what, you know, like, just become friends with a lot of people and talk.
You're really good at that.
Thank you. And I think for artistic, I think I am creative and like imaginative. So like with design and all that stuff. So I think that's how I relate to like artistic. So.
Woo, good job. Awesome.
Thank you.
There's one thing I do want to do, and that's talk about how you and I come from the same 2 parents, but we're very different.
Yeah.
Before I do that, do you want to organize these last 3 to see kind of like your order of what you like to do?
Yeah, so like 1 to...
Yeah, so these will be your top 3.
Okay.
So we'll move these to the side. Where do these last 3 fall?
I think organizers would be next, because I do like organizing things and like making sure everything is like in a certain order. And then I think it would be investigative, and then realistic.
Yeah, that's so interesting. Your last one is realistic, and that's like one of my top 3.
Well, that just shows how we're different.
That's a perfect segue.
Yeah.
Good job. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, because I'll talk about maybe our school classes. So my school classes are like engineering is my elective, and I do flag football. Those are like my extracurriculars. What are your extracurriculars?
My extracurriculars are like I do jazz band and concert band. It's like for me going into high school, like I don't like they have an option for PE, which is covered by band. So it's like you have like flag football because you're a very like athletic person.
Thanks.
But for me, I'm not focused on athletics like some of my friends are. But I think like the difference is like I do jazz band and I do concert band, and that's like the things that I really like doing. And then yours is like you do engineering and like you have the engineering society. So I think that's like, but I also really like that we have that difference.
Me too.
Because it brings us like, we're not the same person, but I like how we like different things, but we can still connect on other things, you know?
Yeah.
And like we can get along really well, even though we don't like similar things.
Yeah.
So.
I should have done this earlier. Do you want to introduce yourself? Because I think also our age difference.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
I'm Rylee's sister. I'm 14 and I'm an 8th grader at Oak Middle School. So, yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so we have a 4-year age difference.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's not really, like, school-wise, I feel that we're an age difference, but when we're at home, I don't feel there's an age difference.
It doesn't
it's weird.
feel like there's such a big age difference.
Yeah. And I think even how different we are in terms of, like, career path and our just interest in general, when we do find things that we're like, oh, we both love this, it's such a great way for us to bond together. Like, we'll just sit on the couch and watch K-pop videos for like 3 hours, and we're totally happy. And even when we talk like late at night, it's the most random stuff, but it's really fun. And I think that's just like a sibling thing that we do. But I think it's really cool how we also sometimes have career conversations in there. Like, we don't even know that we're talking about careers, but we are. Like, we'll talk about the outfits that you like, or you were like, oh, I saw this really cute skirt, and I already planned a whole outfit on it. And I think that's a really cool skill that you have. Because I wish I had that. I don't have that. But it's something that I admire in you, and something that I think your career or your skills will differ from mine, and it's something that I think is super inspiring. And I love it so much.
Thank you.
But yeah, I think it's just, the thing that I'm really interested in is how we were both raised the same way, same parents, same house. We're kind of inseparable. Like, we don't do things outside of each other, but we're so different. And that's beautiful, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And I think it's reflected here in the RIASEC, where there's some aspects where we're the same up here. And I think that's why we get along very well, because we're both talkative. We both like to help each other. But then when we get to, like, hands-on building for me and more design for you, I think that's where we both shine in our own areas. And music for you, because I wish I was so good at music. Oh, I forgot to tell you, the other day I woke up and you were playing your flute downstairs, and you were playing La La Land, and it made me so happy. I forgot to tell you that, but I should have mentioned that earlier. Anyway, but yeah, I think that's really cool with how the RIASEC works, is now I can understand you more and kind of what you're interested in. So I'm not going to ask you, what do you want to do when you grow up? Because that's a kind of, isn't that a kind of scary question?
For me, it's not really scary, but it's like when someone asks me, what do you want to be when you're older? I don't know yet, because there's so many different things that I enjoy and that I like, but it's like, I don't know what I would like. I don't know exactly, like, okay, well, am I going to be happy doing this for, like, the rest of my life?
Oh,
because you already know what you're, like, you've known that you wanted to do something with, like, engineering since middle school. And that's, like, really cool. And because, like, then you're dedicated to it and you know that you want to do it. But for me, I don't know yet what I want to do. Because, like, there's so many good options.
Yeah.
But I want to make sure that when I do have a career, I want to make sure that it's a career that I'm, like, I enjoy doing this, and if I get, like, stress, I'm like, well, it's from doing something that I enjoy. So it's more of, like, good stress, you know?
Yeah.
But when I'm, like, looking into the career I want to do, I want to make sure that it's, like, something I enjoy for a really long time, and that's probably why I don't know what I want to do yet, you know?
How, do you have friends that already know what they want to do?
Yeah, one of my friends, like, she's a really good volleyball player, and I think she wants to do, like, volleyball when she's older, so that's why she's in, like, she's doing club, but she's, like, very good, and I think she wants to do that. And, like, I have another friend, too. She knows what college she wants to go to. She knows what job she wants, and, like, she's very committed to that because she does all these extracurriculars because she wants to do that. But then I still have some friends who, like, they don't 100% know what they want to do, and that's, like, that's kind of how I relate to some of them, because I don't know what I want to do, but I do have friends who know what they want to do.
And how does that affect you? Like, how does it make you feel that you aren't sure? Do you feel okay? Because it's totally okay not to know.
I feel fine
okay,
knowing
good.
that. Like, I'm happy for my friends who know what they want to do, but at the same time, I'm kind of happy that, like, I don't know what I want to do, because then it's not like I'm forcing myself into something that I'm like, okay, well, I don't know if I'm going to enjoy this for that long. But, like, I'm kind of happy that I don't know what I want to do, because then that opens up more opportunities. Like, I get to explore more things to where it's like I could, since I don't know what I want to do, I can be, like, exploring something that I would have never thought to explore if I knew what I wanted to do. So, I'm okay
That's great.
with it.
Because I feel like in my experience, because I was so focused on engineering, I maybe had my head down and was just going down the engineering path.
Yeah.
But you, I feel like you get to look up at all the different careers and all the jobs.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's really cool because your mind is so much more open to new things, I feel like, which is really cool. And I'm very excited for you.
Thank you.
So, is there any last thought that you want to bring out in terms of maybe career conversations, questions I can ask you? Any last thoughts on the RISEC?
Yeah.
I'm going to leave this floor open for you.
I think if I were talking to another person my age who was like, oh, I don't know what I want to do, and they're like kind of worried, like I want people to know that it's okay that you don't know what you want to do yet. Like it's okay if you're like, well, like I kind of like this thing, but it's like I don't know if I want to do that for like the rest of my life. Like it's okay to not know what you want to do because then you have room to do stuff that like new experiences that you haven't tried yet.
Yeah.
So like I just want to let people know, and I hope that kids can figure out who are my age and they're like, okay, well, I don't know what I want to do, and like that's okay to know that. So that's
you don't have to have it all figured out.
Yeah, you don't have to have like you have so much more time left to figure out what you want to do. So like it's 100% okay if you don't know what you want to do.
Yeah, and it's such a cool time for you right now because you can literally go anywhere. You can do anything. You can explore whatever you want to explore. It's really cool. I'm really excited for you, Reese.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Any last idea with your RISEC?
Like changing it or
no, like, I mean, you could change it. It could change at any time. This might not be your RISEC in 2 years.
Yeah.
But, like, do you have any last thoughts or maybe aha moments now that you know what your RISEC is?
I think now that I know what, like, my RISEC is, that now I can look into things that, like, kind of relate to it. So I can look into stuff that's social or, like, enterprising or artistic. Because then if I know, like, since I know what it is, like, it's what I can look forward to. So.
Yeah. That's awesome. You should tell your friends about this.
I
should be really helpful and cool to talk about.
I should be like, what's your RISEC?
Exactly. No, seriously. Because that could then become, like, friend career conversations.
Yeah.
Not even, like, family. You could also take it to friends.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. Good job.
Idea. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, that's all my questions. I think we've had a great career conversation between sisters. That was really good. I'm really happy that you figured out what your RISEC is.
Me too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We can talk more about this tonight and tomorrow and in the future. So this was really good.
Yeah.
Well, I think this was a really, really fun episode. Thank you, Reese, for joining us. Thank you, Mom and Dad, for joining us.
I love you.
Oh. I love you too. Did Mom?
Yes, thank you, Mom.
Thanks, Mom. I was like halfway through my outro. Anyway.
Sorry.
Well, no, that was good. We'll be back to the outro in a second. I love you too. Okay. I think this was a really fun. I had a lot of fun filming this episode today. I think this was just a small insight into what career conversations can be. And yeah. So thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for listening. Yeah, thank you for listening. And this has been Connect the Work. And today I think we made career conversations a little more normal. We'll see you next time. Bye!
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Connect the Work, where we make career conversations normal. I'm here today